Today we're going to be going over some more ways of doing multiple representations and finding which representation matches a given situation. In this one, we have a dolphin travels through the water at a speed of 25 kilometers per hour. Which representation shows the distance a dolphin can travel at this rate? So we have 4 different items to look at. We're going to look at these one at a time. The first one we're going to look at is the table. The table is going to give us a good idea as to whether or not the other items are true or false if the table works. So we know that the dolphin can swim 25 kilometers in 1 hour. So the first thing we have to do is do 1 hour, 25 kilometers, which means that in 2 hours, that dolphin can swim 50, 3 would be 75, 4 would be 100. So then we compare that to the data given to us in the table. Well, if the dolphin goes 0 hours, they're going to go 0 miles. So that matches. 2 to 50 matches. 4 to 100 matches. We can continue to grow our table to see if the items on the table given to us match, and we can see that they do. So the way I got 8 hours equals 200 is I was just doubling my 4. So since this table is accurate, we know that this is a good representation for this particular problem. We are going to see how those other items align. The next item is the graph. So we know that the table's correct, and so we have that off to the side so we can check our work on the graph. On this graph, the first thing we need to do is check the title. Does the title talk about the same item? It does. It talks about the distance the dolphin traveled. Now, on our input-output, our table X is on the left, Y should be on the right. So X should go down here, Y should go right here, and that is what we have. Now let's check our numbers. I should see 2, 4, 6, 8, where the hours are. And I should see 0, 50, 100, 150 on the right hand, or the y-axis. And we see that they have inverted those. So this graph is not an accurate representation of this situation. Going on one more, we have a verbal, which is y equals x plus 25, where x represents the time in hours and y represents the distance. So this is this particular situation saying that if I have, I'm going to use the 2 hours and 50. If I have try that again. If I have 2 in place of x, that 2 plus 25 is going to equal 50. I've just substituted in my values from the table into that equation. Yet again, that is not accurate, so we will continue on to the next representation. In this representation, we have another verbal description. It says in 5 hours, a dolphin can travel a distance of 135 kilometers. Well, so we see that 5 is not on our table, but we can tell that we can go 4 is 100, and we could put 6 is 150, and we can find that missing piece in between by adding 1 more number. So we would have 4, 5, 6 on the x, and we have 125 in the y. Otherwise, we can then have developed our equation of 25 miles per hour, 25 times 5, and that equals 125. So this particular verbal is not accurate for this situation. So that brings us to our final screen. This is the initial pieces that we were given, and we analyzed each of them. This one is not accurate because it is additive, and in this situation is multiplicative. We found that they inverted the numbers on this graph, so that does not work. And that 5 hours is indeed 125, not 135. So the accurate representation for the dolphin traveling would be the input-output table. You're going to use these same strategies to analyze different situations on your own. Feel free to make notes on a piece of paper and submit them to the teacher for additional feedback.